At first glance, Eric, or Aviator, as he's more commonly known, may seem like your average dad from Florida. The truth is, he's anything but. Some might call him an adrenaline junkie, but that would do little justice to a man who has revolutionized extreme sports.
My life has always been about getting up high, being above the clouds, and experiencing life in a three-dimensional way. Being out there, doing something new, and hopefully having a good time doing it.
On this episode of Eye on Performance, presented by Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and Gear, ThePostGame.com profiles Eric the Aviator, the producer of some of YouTube's hottest action sports videos. We find out what inspires his creativity and how he prepares himself to tackle such spectacular adventures. His first conscious memories were of flying, doing barrel rolls with his uncle and grandfather at the age of 3.
I will never forget, in fact it's my very first memory, rolling the airplane upside down over the orange groves and just truly feeling alive in a whole new way.
Since then, Eric has spent his entire life trying to recapture that same exhilaration. Most people feel out of control several thousand feet in the air, but that's where Eric feels most in control. And while traditional action sports may seem insane to the average person, for Eric they were too conventional. So he decided to change the game. How could you possibly make, say, paragliding more exciting? How about adding a motor?
It really is the ultimate all-terrain vehicle. This is an ATV. You strap it on your back, you run it on the ground, boom, paraglider comes over your head, you lean back and off you go, you're flying.
Eric has started Aviator PPG, short for powered paragliding or paramotoring. With this technology, gliders are no longer subjected to simply gliding, as the wind isn't controlling their forward momentum, the motorist.
I tell people that to visualize literally flying down a stream or through a pasture, and over the tops of the trees you see something in the distance that looks kind of interesting, and you can go from 3 feet off the ground to moments later being 60 or 100 or 500 feet and exploring beyond the next hill, beyond the next crest.
What essentially resembles a giant industrial fan is strapped to the glider's back, giving he or she the opportunity for higher velocities and more control while cruising through the sky.
It makes me giddy, you know. Every time I fly these things, I get to experience a new part of the area in which I live or in which I'm flying. And every time I fly it, I get challenged to become a better pilot, which is really, really neat too, because this is like flying 2 gyroscopes at each end, and you have to balance the equilibrium, especially when you're flying more aggressively, and learn to control the energy. It's really rad.
Unlike your stereotypical adrenaline junkie, Aviator is focused on both training and safety.
Everything I do is very, very carefully designed to hopefully keep me alive as long as possible. I have reserve parachutes, I have different flotation devices and things that I can do to hopefully keep myself safe. Plus, I'm flying really tested equipment that have been designed by very, very smart people.
It takes just about 6 to 10 days to complete a training course, oftentimes given by Eric himself, held at the Aviator PPG facility just east of Tampa, Florida. Aviator is very focused on both training and safety. Each trainee completes anywhere between 25 and 50 flights during their regimen. As Aviator puts it, he strives to create not just skilled, safe pilots, but wise ones as well. But Aviator PPG is just Aviator's day job. His real passion is his YouTube channel, Adventures with Aviator, where Eric does everything from flying to surfing to skydiving from a hot air balloon.
I think that people are being driven more and more toward not just seeing a 30-second or 3-minute clip of action and excitement, but to learn more about the people behind the scenes, to get to know who the athletes are, what they're about, what their stories are.
He's still chasing that ever-elusive rush of his first big thrill.
There's something that's just beautiful about the passionate lives of people who either explore new areas or they try new things. It's really amazing to me. And as a longtime fan of great pilots and of great adventurers, whether they're climbing mountains or riding rivers, I'm always amazed by how people live their lives to the fullest.
So whether you want to take the adventure with Eric or live it vicariously online, this is one pioneering adrenaline junkie you might just want to look into. This episode of Eye on Performance was brought to you by Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and Gear.